We're all back together.
Oh,
cheers, boys.
Except Tate's here.
Jason is back in action.
We were all concerned that he was going to die.
I wasn't. I was hoping a little for some mild death,
like a quick and painless death.
Something that I could be revivified from. Is that where you guys just cry over? No, it's too soon. It should have been me. Should have been Tate, not Jason. And then I'm like, oh no, everything's better.
Actually,
Tate's gone.
We didn't miss you at all. We had Neff and Julie, and then Chantel. Neff and Chantel were cool. Really enjoyed their company. Chantel really got into video games. She was standing. She was so into video games she couldn't sit down, and she was cussing and throwing shit.
She got pissed at you guys. I don't fucking understand what's going on. I'm not winning. Yeah. And then when she'd win, she's like, yeah.
Very up and down.
It was pretty great.
Let me just throw our first beer up real quick.
So she's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
We got the Peach Juele. But what is this?
4204.
4204 Main Street.
The other one's in Missouri again, right?
Yeah.
Or was that Four Hands?
Four Hands is in Missouri. Let's see. The Peach Juele.
Belleville, Illinois.
Illinois. Hey, you can pronounce Illinois right. Look at that. I got a 30-minute lecture from a guy from Illinois when I pronounced it as Illinois. He's like, oh, son, sit down for a minute.
Is that like Louisville?
Yeah.
Is it a Louisville or
it was
Louisville?
I got sucked into doing the telethon. You ever heard about that?
No.
Through K-State, it's the fundraising campaign. They get students to go to it's in Manhattan, and they're like, oh yeah, you just call people for 2 hours, and you ask for donations, and so you just keep calling.
Donations for what?
I don't.
If you say for the school, I'm gonna tell everybody. K-State can go fuck itself.
I know.
Their administrative costs alone are just insane.
I'm pretty sure it was for the foundation, not for actually the university. But I look back at it, I'm like, what was I doing? But the best part I got about it was this funny story where I was like, this guy was like, yeah, I'm not going to donate. I'm like, okay, and I'm 18. I'm like, okay, sir, well,
this isn't like this last year. Or
no.
Like, they didn't send you for the job.
I was fresh out of high school, and I got talked into it. I was buying into the drinking the Kool-Aid, whatever. And I was like, can I just verify your address real quick so that we can call you in the future? And I was like, whatever, 4204. Illinois, and he just like, whoa, and just gave me a 30-minute lecture on the phone. Yeah, no, it was funny.
No.
Is this our first peach beer?
No, we did the Weech. In fact, I was going to compare this to the Weech.
We also had the
peach tart
for Ballast Point.
Yeah. Let me share it real quick.
I actually went to Ballast Point on Saturday.
I did not see any of the snaps.
Friday. I didn't snap shit.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry. I just enjoy the moment, kind of. And I take pictures and shit, but I don't know if I took any pictures there.
Let's see.
What beer did you have?
I did. I had a flight there. I was more recently at 8-Bit, and that was I remember those beers more because it was more recent. But god damn it, what did I have?
What up, Mama?
Did you do their habanero sculpin?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no. I kind of want to try that.
I had a couple IPAs. I had a peanut butter porter, and
I feel like those are getting big. I feel like a lot of people are doing peanut butter porters.
Yeah, I tried 2 or 3 there.
What's up, Sarah? What's up, Jeremy?
Damn it.
All right, I got a shirt. I did it. Wish Jason could do that, but he's kind of a lame ass.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry, I can't find it.
So what was wrong with you?
Hey, it's welcome. A lot of stuff.
What's up, man?
You remember how you were talking about sometimes you just need a break and just need a break from life. Sometimes you just need a break from Tate. And that's it. Or you get so sick of Tate's shit, you literally get sick.
I have to call in sick to work for a week.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Uh-oh, she says she can't hear us. Is sound not coming through? I see mic audio. Uh-oh.
Yo, is sound working, guys?
AIDS.
Sound check. I
Yes.
think the photos from Ballast Point were
Yes.
probably on Julie's phone because I think mine was dead at that time.
Yo, Brad, what up?
But I can see why
Where
their
do you see
beers.
Brad?
Brad showed up as watching on mine. Are you not friends with Brad?
Yeah.
No?
Oh, maybe it's
It's
because it's
not
not scrolled down.
scrolled.
There
Oh,
it
there
is.
you go.
All right.
Oh, Will Comp said sounds good. All right.
Do this.
Mom, turn up your volume.
I can see why Ballast Point charges so much for their beers, though. Their facility's fucking nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that Sacramento? No.
It was
San Diego?
Northeast San Diego. Maybe not in San Diego, but
They claim it.
around there.
What was the
Claim
traffic
8
like?
mile, but you live, what was
Traffic was kind
it?
of
20
shit.
miles away?
Like horrible?
Not
Like
horrible,
20
but it
20
was.
miles away.
Everybody just like cruises all across the fucking freeway, 4 lanes instead of fast people on the left, slow on the right. It's just typical dumb shit. But we hit some bad traffic, we hit some good traffic.
Gotcha.
It was fun. 8-Bit Brewing in Murrieta.
I've never heard of 8-Bit.
It was like it said me and my brother were looking for something to do because we dropped the girls off to get their nails done. And
What do you
we
want to do?
went there.
I want to drink beer.
And he doesn't dive into craft beer a whole lot, but
No,
he
he
had
doesn't.
their blonde and a red Hefeweizen. And he didn't mind either one. He liked them all. So that was where I had the sour IPA, and it was pretty delicious. But we went in. They had one of those old Pac-Man benches, like a table arcade. It said, "Drink, eat, play." So we figured it'd be like a barcade brewery. You know, they only had the one table.
So
Sarah,
This.
we're drinking the,
suck.
what is it called again? I already forgot.
Peach Juele.
The Peach Juele by 4204 in Illinois.
Illinois.
Belleville, Illinois.
So, you continuing to say Illinois. Did any of you guys listen to the album Illinois by Sufjan Stevens? That's actually an incredible album. It takes a couple listens to before it gets good, but it's great.
The Peach Juele tastes like the first day of summer. The aroma tastes of ripe peaches matched with our blonde ale creates a beer that's perfect for any occasion.
Ooh.
Man, I should actually get paid by beer companies just to be like a commentator. I'm like the Morgan Freeman of beer commercials.
No.
Yeah.
Man, how awesome would that be if Morgan Freeman read one of these? That'd be great.
Yeah.
We went to a dope-ass barcade, Jackson Howling, drink some solid beers. That does sound good.
Is this Florida? Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on vacation for like
What
a
is
while.
it? What is Will Combs hard on with Florida? I mean, I grew up in Florida. I lived. That's where I was born. But
Tate has the face for radio commentary.
so that brings up another funny story. So I grew up watching or listening to NPR and Prairie Home Companion. And you guys know what I'm talking about? But
What's up, Patriots? Sorry.
the voice, I can't remember his name. The voice of Prairie Home Companion.
Oh, couldn't tell you.
Listen to him every day or every Sunday for years with Prairie Home Companion's radio show, and it's weird how you form like an image of what somebody looks like in your head without ever seeing them, and then you see them in reality, and you're like, "Who the fuck's that?"
Oh,
Yeah.
It's weird.
My neighbor is sorry. Segue.
No.
He's been the radio voice for Jim Clark Chevrolet and Pontiac blah blah blah
Really?
since I was a fucking kid. Like that voice is in my head, and I live next door to the guy now. So now when he talks to me, I'm like, fucking radio dude. Radio dude. Like, you cannot unhear it. And speaking of that, if anybody wants to pitch in and help this weekend on Saturday, we're going to clean up his yard because he's old and he's got a bum knee and all he does is fish.
Oh, is this the dude? Oh, okay. It's that dude. Okay,
With
gotcha.
the fucking overgrown everything in his yard.
I love
So-
him. Don't give a fuck. I don't give a
doesn't-
shit if there's a half a tree laid down in my front yard.
No.
It's out of the
Going
driveway.
fishing.
That's how I'm going to be when I'm his age.
Going
Fuck
fishing.
it.
That's how I am now.
But like, it'll probably up my property value fucking 5% just cleaning up his shit. So it's worth it. I'm gonna help.
That's funny.
You talking about getting this mental image of people? I listened to a podcast.
Hey, Brian.
Called Reply All, and I listened to all of them. And then after it was finally done, I Googled what those guys look like, and I was like, forever ruined. Forever fucking ruined. Neither of them look anything like how they sound. And I was like, wow, so drastically different than what I imagined. And I mean, there are a couple times where they've even tried to describe themselves in the show, and I'm like, oh, okay, I've got a good mental picture of you. And then I looked it up, and I was like, nope. Nope.
I can't do
nope.
it.
Same with like Hannah for the radio station here in town. Mm-hmm. Like hearing her, I was like, okay, I've got a pretty decent picture of what it is that you look like. And then I went to the father-daughter dance thing with Lily, for Valentine's, and then I saw her there. I was like, the fuck?
So Garrison Keller is the voice of Prairie Home Companion. And they did the movie Prairie Home Companion. I think it was a movie. A couple years ago, and that was the first time I ever saw him, and that was when I had that moment of, who the hell is this guy?
Who is this dude?
Listened to him for years. Yeah, Garrison Keller, that's it. Funny Sunday radio show.
Oh, yeah.
K-Dub playoff games. Ah, cool. No, it's not that she's not cool. It's that her voice did not sound like what I expected. Not that she... I mean, now I can completely see it, but at the time I was like, what? What? And she had a really bad dye job at the time, too, so I don't think that helped at all. That's kind of cool.
What is this? Oh, you got some vacation photos? Is that what you're doing?
I'm sure
8-bit brewing.
Some people have already seen a couple. I don't think I posted this one, but this is that 8-bit brewing. I'll get it up after our, well, maybe before our beer review.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Uh-oh. Apparently there's an echo somewhere.
Echo?
Well, I can see the mic thing going fucking insane, too.
How about now?
Did you mute something?
Yeah. How about now?
Desktop audio, you mute that? That's what it looks like. Thank you, welcome.
Man, I was going to ask Brad a question today when I was at work, and I completely fucking forgot what it was. And now I don't feel like... I can't
So the place looked cool as fuck from the outside, and we're like, yeah, let's go in there and try. It said, like, eat,
looks
game,
cool.
drink, and
it
was alright. The beers were good. It just was kind of, you walk in and that's it. You drink beer. Or eat food.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. That's probably what it was going to be. I was going to ask Brad if he was coming down for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. He said he'd be here.
What's up, Jason?
I think.
Cool.
So he was asking what we were doing. We'll probably be here Wednesday night, grandparents out of town Thursday, and then free the rest of the weekend.
Friday, Les is supposed to come over. We are supposed to have a burger cook-off. So as long as
that too.
Weather is supposed to be decent, there's supposed to be a burger cook-off. So I don't know if you guys are up for that,
or if you have a burger for that,
or if you have a burger recipe. But we started talking about baked potatoes for some reason, and then he's like, "Oh man, baked potatoes! You know what those go with? Burgers." And I was like, "Oh man, I like these two kinds of burgers. These are the two I make. I make a garlic Worcestershire burger, and then I also make a blue cheese jalapeno burger." And he's like, "Oh, those sound really good." And he's like, "You should make those sometime. Like by the time they get here, they're going to be cold." He's like, "We should have a burger day." I was like, "Well, summer's pretty far away." And he's like, "Yeah. What are you doing the day after Thanksgiving? Do you do Black Friday shopping?" I was like, "Fuck no, I don't do Black Friday shopping." He's like, "I'll bring some beer. We're going to do some burgers." I was like, "Wait, you said bring. Are you coming over to my house? Is that what's happened here? What the fuck just happened? What kind of..."
So he invited himself over to your house the day after.
You're going to cook me burgers.
Damn.
Well, okay, well, fuck it. We'll do that.
Worked out.
Yep. So he ended up having a very long conversation with me about the way that he likes his baked potato. And we've got a beer review, but then I will ask you guys about your baked potato preference.
I have a very strong stance.
Mine's
Yes,
easy.
I'm so
baked.
happy to hear this.
Twice baked potato.
Oh, I love a twice baked
Fucking
potato.
awesome.
So is it beer review time?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, your pick.
Yep.
That was my pick.
Get it, homie.
I'm not overly impressed with this beer. It's not like outstanding by any means, but it's very similar to the Blueberry Juele in it's sweet and smooth. So it's got that going for it. There's nothing. I mean, it's pretty eccentric. I think they're kind of in their own lane when it comes to sweet beer. But as far as it being like outstandingly awesome or refreshing, I'm not too sure. Probably put down 3 or 4 with ease. It does have a really peachy flavor. Fuck, I don't even know. Would I buy it again? Probably. Especially when it's warmer outside. Like, it'd been awesome while I was in California. I'm gonna give it an 8. That's it. I can't.
You shit on that really hard at the beginning, and then you're like 8.
But
you just fucking totally tainted that thing.
I can't pinpoint anything wrong with it. It's just like there's not anything extremely right with it either. It's a good beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's tasty.
So, this to me, this is gonna sound weird. This tastes like peach tea.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't really taste like beer.
I remember years ago, the first time I ever went to the Olive Garden.
Their peach Bellini tea.
And their
that
peach
shit's
tea.
dope.
Like, I almost didn't even care about the food. I was like, bring me some more of that fucking bomb tea. And I thought I drank 2 pitchers, I think, by the end of the night by myself with this peach tea. That's not an exaggeration. I really liked it. This is super easy to drink. I could put down a 6-pack of this without thinking about it. I mean, it's just like juice. It almost doesn't even taste like a beer.
No.
Because it's sweet, smooth, it's peachy. So I mean, it's a really enjoyable thing to drink, but it's not necessarily like my type of beer.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife would love this.
I think anybody would love this. You could make punch with this. Make a party punch. Just fucking 6-pack, and then whatever else you want to put in it.
I just know she likes the Weech.
Yeah. This to me is better than the Weech. What do you think? Is this better than the Weech?
You rated it higher than you rated the Weech.
It's a fact.
I think I did too.
I'll give it a 7.
That's a good question, though.
I like this beer. I can't pinpoint anything wrong with it except that it almost doesn't taste like a beer. It doesn't taste like a beer at all. I mean, I don't taste alcohol.
I think the Weech is more beer flavored.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
This is more of a cream drink, kind of.
Yeah. It's a lot lighter, and I think that's the difference between it being brewed with a blonde and the other one being a wheat. That wheat gives it some more richness, but it also gives it does have a beer note to it. It's not heavy, and that peach helps wash it away. But this, with it being a blonde beer, it washes down still peach.
Yeah. And
that's something that I actually like about this is it's sweet enough that it's peach all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he mentioned the peach tea note. If you were out to drink a refreshing drink, especially in the summer or something like that, you could drink this all day and never know that you were drinking beer.
Yeah.
If that's what you were going after, this is definitely something that you could put down and never know that it was beer. Mm-hmm. It's very good. You mentioned it compared to the blueberry. The blueberry I didn't find sweet enough. It seemed like the blueberry flavor was more of a blueberry hint, and I didn't like that so much. This seems overwhelmingly peach. Like it's very heavy in that peach flavor. I really like it. I really like it. It's just sweet enough. It's not overly sweet. Like it's not like teeth hurting sweet. You can get some of that, a little bit of that beer to it, but it doesn't finish with beer and it doesn't start with beer. It's kind of like right in the middle whenever that fizz hits you. So it's really good. It carries all the way through. You put it down easy, especially with it not being a heavy beer like the. I would say the Weech is a little heavier just because it is a wheat beer. This with it being a blonde, it's smooth. It's great. I'll also give it an 8. I think it's. I think
this
it's a
might
great
not
beer.
fuck with gluten people as bad either, since it's not a wheat, right?
It
Yeah.
definitely is going.
I'm not going to claim that, so don't drink it and have a fucking allergic
definitely
reaction.
I got a buddy who's
But-
got celiacs and
My dad's girlfriend's very can't eat gluten.
gluten
so-
sensitive.
We
and
should
my
do one of those
aunts.
gluten-free beers that they have at
Yeah.
Cave Divers and check those out.
But-
we tried a couple at
What are
the
those
Slide on
called?
Tap. I can't think of them.
They have a brand that's like their
Yeah.
whole shit's non-gluten, right?
We'd have to ask.
Yeah.
Like black and white. Is it Zipline?
No, Zipline was the amber one that we did a while back. They look very similar to Zipline.
Like black and white fucking...
Yeah.
Or
But-
Osiris or Oasis.
That's
or
what I was
some
going to say. I
shit.
think it's Osiris. But it's O something.
You gave it an 8 too?
I did.
All right.
I did.
Next
I like it a
beer.
lot.
Next beer is the Denver Pale Ale.
American Pale.
American Pale by Great Divide, and it's their Artisan Series.
What kind of IBUs does this bad bitch have?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's something I
It's
didn't
beautiful.
see on this one. What was the ABV? Does it say?
I'm guessing 4 or something.
4.5. Yep.
Yeah. That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Did they see that with that small ass screen?
I don't know.
This is-
Oh yeah, we're still down there.
What's up, Chandler? Yeah.
My bad, bro.
So, when's Chandler going to be on the show?
I keep trying, but he's got to be to work early as fuck, and he don't really like craft beer. Even though a lot of these are tolerable.
What up, John
That
McDowell?
we do.
And yo, Jason.
What's up?
That's my cousin. What up, bud?
Oh, no.
You don't like him.
relation?
You don't like him due to his
Oh, no, you
relation
said, what's up,
connection?
Jason? I said, what's up? And
Mm.
you're like, oh, it's my cousin. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I would never.
He's
Somebody in my family was going to marry into yours, I'd probably kill them just so I don't have to be related to.
so Jason's comment didn't show up on our chat. Maybe it showed up here, but it didn't show up there. But
What?
he said not a huge fan of non-citrus fruit beers. Like citrus beers though. I like juicy citrus IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's too many Tate affiliates. I know how that feels.
Let her welcome.
I'm going to rat you out to John. Tate skipped because it was too cold outside.
John wasn't there either. He wasn't there either.
I hope he was gone because it was too cold
No.
outside. too.
So John, I skipped jiu-jitsu last night because it was so freaking cold. I worked out in the cold. I was chilled to the bone. I was sitting in my office with my
I was
coat
fucking
on.
Freezing.
And then I got home. I'm like, I'm not leaving.
I sit right next to an old drafty window, and it's just so cold in my office. The heater's right next to that window, and I guarantee you, like, the heat never makes it past like the actual space of the heater itself.
Mhm.
It's just like, fuck.
So Great Divide. I mean, that's a Denver company, of course, right? Denver
Have
Pale
we
Ale.
done another Great Divide?
Yes, we just did one a couple weeks ago.
The Titan or the Hercules.
I don't think the Hercules is one.
Hercules is a double IPA. We might have done it a long time ago, but we did a Great Divide. It was like a tart something. Right?
Maybe.
I don't remember it.
God damn it.
But yeah, Denver, Colorado.
Oh, I do remember doing that because I was talking about how I did the Claymore and the Samurai
Yes.
and their farmhouse.
The
Yeah,
Claymore.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh,
Had
there's
to go and
Samurai's a
watch
nice one. It's
4 and 5-year-olds try to sing. Dude, not even on the same level. That's a legit excuse, I guess.
Yeah, like I realized later that I felt bad for missing practice, but I'm like, wait, John wasn't even there. I'm good. So I stayed home and played Fortnite. In the
Every
warm
story you've told me since the last time I've seen you has been, so then I stayed home and played
I was
Fortnite.
going to go do this,
So then I went home and played Fortnite.
but then I got high.
And then,
But I played Fortnite.
And then I skipped work and I played Fortnite. And then I told my wife I'd clean the garage, but then I played Fortnite. And then she went to work and I played Fortnite.
video game addiction's a real problem, and you realize it when you find the game. But the game's only fun when you're playing with your bros, which is what I was telling you guys about earlier.
Yeah.
If you're not playing with your buddies, it loses all of its magic.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree. It's kind of like if you played Broforce solo compared to if you played
Wouldn't be any
Broforce with
fun.
the bros. Yeah.
wouldn't be any fun.
Yeah, it's just kind of...
It's like masturbating. It's not nearly as fun unless you have somebody to do it with you.
Wait. So, now this raises a question. Are you saying somebody else also, like, they're doing them and you're doing you? or because I don't think you messing with somebody else is masturbation.
What?
Yeah, God damn it! I don't even want to use it as an example. I was gonna say like if somebody's jerking you off, and I'm like that sounds really bad because I'm in here, but no. I don't think them. Okay, I don't think somebody jerking you off counts as masturbation. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of sexual something.
I'm pretty sure that's sex. I mean,
yeah.
The millennials probably say no, it's not sex.
Oh no!
But I'm pretty certain that's just sex. Yeah.
So I want to point out this other beer that I had in California. I bought a 6-pack of it.
Oh yeah.
After
peanut butter milk stout. Ooh, a milk stout. That sounds good.
This was a very good fucking beer.
Peanut butter, common theme.
Yeah, and I had a peanut butter porter at Ballast Point that was very brash, and I'm trying to get away from masturbation talk.
You say that, and then you have something called belching beaver, which sounds like a vagina spitting shit out.
For the double meaning, yes, but that's a belching beaver.
We do take rather hard left turns. The belching beaver, though.
Is that what you called her in high school? Is that?
And then I tried another.
You gotta imagine what's the inspiration behind that name. Who names a beer company Belching Beaver?
Yeah. There's another peanut butter porter from Carl Strauss in California too. That wasn't as. It was like kind of more of the watery porter type drink with the peanut butter front end. But this was the best one I had out there out of any beer I tried, I think.
I think a peanut butter stout sounds a lot better than a peanut butter porter.
I had Stone Brewing's
Stone or Firestone?
Stone.
Okay.
The one that does the Hoko Vesa. It was a white Berliner Weiss, and it was good. It was just
how sour was it?
It was pretty sour, but it didn't have much flavor to it. It was just sour. And then another peach Gosa, and it was decent, but like a tart peach.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was the beer that I loved this weekend.
That's a takeaway.
Yep.
Do they have carpet? Is
that
what I'm seeing there? That seems weird.
That was in the game room that I think used to be a garage in this manor.
But this isn't the brewery.
No. This was at the manor that we were staying at.
Oh, okay. I thought you were taking it like... Oh, okay.
No, this thing has
because you bought this as a 6-pack. Gotcha.
9 suites, 11 bathrooms, fucking... Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Nice. You find that on Airbnb? Is that...
Yeah.
So I can say this because I have confidence that Teresa's sister probably won't watch this cast.
Oh boy.
Maybe I should.
Is this about belching beaver?
Maybe I should.
No, go for it.
I'm gonna hold off.
Go for it. No,
I don't want to step on any toes.
No, I really want to know.
No
It's the only time I've ever wanted to hear you talk.
Have you ever regretted things that you said online? Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, absolutely.
I've regretted things I've said. Maybe, I mean, I'll hold my tongue on this one.
Alright.
Whatever.
Shitty tape.
What up, Andrew? Andrew White?
Our Twitch viewer left us earlier.
Cool.
But
I don't think we typed back.
We had one.
Upset.
I guess I could start typing back.
You know, one of the
But
Twitch vectors.
It's alright. What we should do... This is a setup for failure. What we should do is, people who are watching this on YouTube, if you watch us and like us or follow us on Twitch, there's a very real opportunity for you to get some video games out of it. There's a very real opportunity.
Nobody is watching this on YouTube.
What? Oh, Facebook, anything. If you're on Facebook and you go and you follow us on Twitch, yes. At some point, there will be a giveaway on Twitch.
Free video games.
For free video games. And there are lots to choose from. Lots and lots and lots to choose from. But I think Brad is one of the only people that I know of who actually does play video games. So you gotta...
Is that representative of his character?
He's probably already following us on Twitch.
Maybe.
He might be. Yeah.
I don't even think he follows us on fucking Facebook.
But there is was it IRL food and drink section on Twitch now. They finally subcategorized them to where we are getting guys popping in here and there a tiny bit at a time. But the more followers we have and viewers, the higher we'll be on their priority. So, and
it helps.
Fuck you guys.
At least on Twitch, the more people that we have follow us,
welcome.
They will occasionally they rotate through up and comings, and if you have follows, that's what actually gets you some front page views. So, works. Good. Then Welcome can win some games.
Yep.
So wait. So are you going to dress up as a turkey next week?
Why am I going to dress up as a turkey?
Because it's our Thanksgiving podcast, and I'll bring my shotgun. So it'll all work out.
No, I bought a pug mask to be here on Halloween, and then I was sick, and so now it's just still sitting on my couch.
What did you guys do this weekend?
Saturday, hung out with my wife, and that went okay. It was just basically chilling out. And then Sunday, Sarah, I hope you're not watching, we got in a huge argument about lunch. Like, it was like a 2-hour fucking argument about lunch. And she just could not choose lunch. And I was like, how can you not fucking choose lunch? What's wrong with you? And it spiraled downhill.
The classic couple. Classic couple.
Oh, it was a hardcore spiral and a hardcore argument.
About food.
Yes, it was. And then we ended up we rented a bunch of movies. We rented 3 Identical Strangers, Mandy, and Leave No Trace. 3 Identical Strangers was incredible. It's about a guy who goes to college, and everybody it's a true story. The guy goes to college, and people confuse him for somebody else, and he's like, no, that's not me, until the other person who they're comparing him to, that person's best friend is like, no, you are him. When's your birthday? Yep, that's his birthday. Where were you born? Yep, that's where he was born. Steven. All that. And so they call the other dude up on the phone, and they're like, hey, I think you have a twin brother.
Cheers, bud.
Turns out they are, in fact, twin brothers.
Oh,
and they were separated at birth. So then a newspaper article gets posted about it.
What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, what's it called again?
3 Identical Strangers.
I lost interest.
But a newspaper article gets posted about these two who found each other being twins, and another guy's like, I think I'm the third brother. And he is, in fact, the third fucking brother. And so they all found each other. But you think it's just heartwarming, and then it spirals crazy downhill, and you find out why these things happened and how they got separated and shit like that, and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
It was the darkness of the...
Yeah, it was crazy. But then we watched Mandy. Have you seen a preview for Mandy?
No.
All right.
I don't know.
So it's a Nick Cage movie, and it's supposed to be a grindcore, gore fest, LSD movie. I thought it was going to be like mild ground for all 3 of those. All of those were over the fucking top. Like, watching this movie, I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? The entire time. Like, it was insane. And it wasn't good. It was insane, though. I mean, it was worth watching just because it was fucking insane. And then we watched Leave No Trace, which was okay. And then it just ended. Like, it's building up, and you're like, okay, now's when the character resolution happens. And then it just off. And I was like, well, alright.
Did it make sense, though? Or was it just like, really?
It was more of a, like, really. Like, you think something's about to happen, and this is going to be the turning point, and then nothing happens and the movie ends. And it was just like, oh, well, shit. Okay. I guess I kind of spoiled that. Shit, I'm sorry.
I probably won't watch it, but it's fine.
I kind of find most movies anymore, like, I've kind of disconnected from the into movies realm, because most of the new shit that comes out anymore, 90%, if not more, have just totally lost interest in.
I'm gonna watch Overlord tomorrow.
Steven, what's
that
the
one looks interesting.
Rhythm Rug from Fontaflora? Where is Fontaflora out of? I know I can look it up, but
Rhythm Rug.
I'm wondering what that is, or
Sounds kind of good.
let us know more about it if you're still here. What'd you do?
Oh, it was such a nice chill weekend.
Play Fortnite.
No, I played. I called in sick to work Friday and was legitimately hungover sick. Because
wait, I called in sick and was legitimately hungover sick. Like that is not. That's
hungover is sick. I
self-induced sickness.
I was sick.
Ooh, yummy.
I went to work at 8 a.m. and by 8:40 I was like, "Yo, I'm going home. I don't feel good." And so at I think by 8:40 I was leaving. By 11 I was playing Fortnite with Curtis and Aaron. Yo, Curtis, congrats on getting ready to be a dad. That's pretty cool.
Scariest shit ever, man.
Cheers.
So Friday was sick and lazy. Saturday was chill. We watched Deadpool 2 again.
That's a good movie.
On the new TV. We went to... Teresa's been hearing a lot about the lunch over at the Paramount, which is that bar on North Santa Fe, just south of Rendezvous.
Don't get the Reuben. Pretty much everything else is great.
Well, I got the Italian, and it was good.
Yeah.
The burger was about as generic as a burger can be. I mean,
What kind of burger was it?
It was the kind of like just the classic cheese. I mean, hardly anybody makes a burger that they don't cook to shit, to where they're dry. And
they do that a little bit, but a lot of their topping stuff makes up for it. Like they do a KC Royal burger, which is a blue cheese, like melty blue cheese burger.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I hate the fact that every burger that you get is literally cooked into where it's like a puck of dry.
It's well done.
Yeah. I typically, if I order a burger, I make a point of saying, "Yo, I want it medium rare." I mean, when you order a burger medium rare, you're going to get a burger that's well. You just have to know that. Yeah. It's just not going to be well to where it's a hockey puck. But cool day. Jiu-jitsu in the morning. John and I went at it. Had some good rolls. What was funny about Saturday's jiu-jitsu is it was a big class. So Saturdays are normally like much smaller. Not a lot of people want to come in Saturday morning at 9 a.m. But we had 12 guys Saturday morning. So 6 matches going on simultaneously. Most of the time it's like 3. So doubled the normal. But there were 10 kids. So it was jiu-jitsu, but also daycare. There were 10 kids. All of them were playing with each other and keeping each other company to where all of the dads were there for the full hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes rolling, getting their exercise in, getting their jiu-jitsu in, and the kids were self-sufficient. If I was the gym owner, I would be concerned about all these kids running around, all this gym equipment possibly getting hurt. Yeah. And I know that Scott, the gym owner, does have that concern, and it's legit. But luckily, if the kids do get injuries, they're minor. And the dads are just so happy to be able to bring their kids and have them not be such a pain in the ass they have to leave early. Yeah. But it was cool. It was really cool.
You saying this, it gives me a negative image, and it's not that the dads are bringing it. I'm just imagining, and this is probably shitty, and it's probably from my own childhood. Hey, it's the Saturday I get to spend with my dad. It's every other weekend? I don't remember what it is for fucking divorced parents. It's the Saturday you get to spend with my dad. Oh, he has plans because he's got to make shit around not being able to hang out with me, and he doesn't want to bail out on this plan. Fuck, now I have to sit here and watch him roll around with a grown-ass man for an hour or two while I'm on this fucking divorce custody.
Luckily, though,
split shit.
Those children are so young they don't even think.
And also, luckily, there was 10 kids.
Probably.
And hopefully. It was like just a kid party. They were all playing with each other.
Good.
They were crawling around, doing whatever their shit was. They were having fun.
These are all the dads getting fit so that they can post on Facebook. Is that it? Looking for new moms?
You're such a cynical fuck. It's legit. It's over the top. No wonder why. God, I've always wondered why that
She never gave you your hat.
Yeah, where the fuck's my hat, man?
Oh, she said she lost it.
Well,
Can I have another one of those?
She expected me to get it.
Before we do the review?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, give me another IPA too. Please.
Oh, hold on.
It's not an IPA.
Hold on.
Pale ale.
It's a Denver Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Oh, there we go.
Does it have a ribbon strap? Of course you need a ribbon.
Hey, this is for you, Julie.
It's not even a string.
Don't be interrupting our goddamn
Thank you, sir.
production.
Our professional production.
We'll order new lighting. We're ordering new lighting for next week's episode. Hopefully we can get rid of blurry Jason.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even though the
that works
Facebook
well.
community is very grateful for Blurry
Did it
Jason.
readjust?
No, my can is
Oh,
blurry.
shit. Wait. Did readjust.
Yeah, it's green.
You are less blurry.
Oh, my goodness.
Yay!
More blurry on Facebook, though. Facebook
Oh,
shit,
Facebook's
man.
Terrible.
Throttles
So,
the fuck out of stuff.
Steven's drinking the Morganton NC Strawberry Wild Ale.
Morganton, North Carolina is where they're from.
Morganton?
It's a strawberry palate. Or strawberry. Just put tea there and everyone will be happy. Yeah.
What the fuck was I going to say earlier?
It was going to be what you did this weekend. Other than breweries.
No, everybody knows that I went to California.
I know. It's snowing
actually,
here.
my stepsister, basically, that got married to Steven, she drinks a lot of craft beer. They're always going to breweries and shit. And she wants on the show when they come back in May. So,
So we got 5.5 inches of snow. I measured it. I took a photo.
And this bitch over here is taking pictures on the beach with a pineapple drink.
We got 5.5 inches. Did you miss
the
that
night
entirely?
after we left,
Yeah, you missed the snow.
or the
entirely.
morning after we left, I think,
It was crazy.
because we left Wednesday night
It snowed from 8 a.m.
and
until
flew out Thursday
5
morning.
p.m.
Yeah, no, it snowed later than 5 p.m.
Really?
It snowed
What's up,
from
Enrique?
about 25 minutes after I got to work at 8 to easily 7 o'clock at night.
It was
And
crazy.
that
It
was the
snowed
last time
forever.
that I was outside.
It was a winter
yeah.
wonderland.
It was
Dude,
crazy.
they made, so the students at...
but it didn't stick to the ground at all. Like,
No.
or to the roads.
Right, to the roads. The students got out in the courtyards and built snowman.
Mm-hmm.
We had multiple 10-foot snowman. They
Wow.
were the biggest snowman I've
It was
ever
thick
seen.
snow. It was wet.
Very wet. It was the biggest snowman I've ever seen.
Fine, you talked me into it. Come on,
Thanks, Dad.
you lay
I
down
love
right
you
here.
so much.
Down.
Even though I don't have no legs. You're like Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, you
You
know
ain't
what?
got no legs.
I bet he'd try out for the show. He'd love to drink the beer. He'd sit on the couch every Tuesday,
Dude.
no problems.
With animal cruelty
Chill.
departments get called on us
Chill.
if we fed this dog 4 beers
Probably.
and streamed it on the
You know how
internet.
people
Yo,
are.
internet. If
goddamn
we
internet.
if we made Chewy an official member and had a little dog bowl and we poured him as many beers as we drink, and then he was like looking at you with one eye, with the other eye pointed off this direction, would Animal Control get involved?
Yeah.
He'd be having a great
Julie,
time.
I had Julie take this picture that's behind us out of our car this weekend.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Look at all those palm trees.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've never been to Cali before. It was fucking cool.
Looks like it was a decent time.
I got offered weed one time.
Wait, just
walking
offered?
around?
Only once. Yeah. Just walking down the beach. This guy's like, "You want some weed, homie?" I'm
Wait.
like, "I'm good, thank you."
Is it legal there, or
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
No,
They
so
he
have
recalled
they
it's
have
legal.
buddy drop to where they roll around in a van like Uber, and there's an app where you check off like, I want one of those, I want a brownie, I want a spliff, I want a cone, like 2 of these, one of those, a cookie or a piece of cupcake, and they'll fucking deliver it to your house,
wow.
and you just pay through the app.
Wow.
It's like Uber, but
Yeah, I
with
mean,
weed.
the guy on the
damn.
beach, he was like, "Yo, he's pedaling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to."
He's all ripped, no shirt. He's like, "Want some weed, homie?" I'm like, "No, thanks, man. I'm good."
walk around California beach. That's what
I
happens.
appreciate the hustle, though.
That's exactly what I think of when I think of California anymore.
So, I was,
People skateboarding, rollerblading, just outside.
Yep.
I was reading a thing about it was actually Colorado and how individual sales have changed since legalization.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people said the only difference is they no longer have to even communicate with their dealer. Like the guy sells now, but it's not shady and you don't have to show up at his house and sit around for a while he sells it to you.
Yeah.
No, they're really quick about service now, in and out and on their fucking way.
What is it? What was the initial thing that you said?
How individual sales have changed in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
So like if you were a dealer before, how that is now.
Where's Ashtray Juice Girl? She was funny.
Thank God she's gone. Oh wait, no, it's Chantel, not Julie. Oh yeah, we missed Chantel.
She's not back here in the corner hollering.
I thought she was talking about Julie.
Oh.
And I almost got excited, but that would have been some poor taste. So, are we up? Is this review time?
Yep. It's your beer.
Yeah. So, I don't know if I had expectations of what this would be. It doesn't say it's an IPA. It says it's a Denver Pale Ale, but it's milder and less hoppy for certain than what I was thinking.
That was going to be my primary note.
I think this is a pale ale and definitely not an IPA. I see pale ale anymore, I just assume. But this says Denver Pale Ale. It's part of the Great Divide Artists Series #3, but it's an American Pale. So this is a mildly, I don't want to say skunky. It's not skunky.
It's not piney either. I mean, this tastes hoppy. It doesn't taste piney like some IPAs.
Yeah, it's middle of the road, like flavor wise. I mean, it almost tastes like a wheat, kinda. It almost tastes like a Belgian, kinda. Except you don't have that sharp Belgian yeast taste.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it has some of the hop bitterness, but not a lot of the hop aroma or the hop flavor. I don't get a lot of hop flavor. I get the hop bitterness though.
What's up, Dave?
And it kind of, depending on how you drink it, it may or may not finish dry.
It's not. I don't get that it's super dry. That being said, I mean, it's not what I expected when I picked it. I was hoping for a nice, juicy IPA that Jason would bitch about for hours on end. But
I don't bitch about them. I drink them.
Hours on end.
But it's definitely different than what I was expecting, but that doesn't mean it's bad. This is a very good standard beer. I would say 6.5. I want to rate it higher, but I feel like that's realistic.
It's a good standard beer.
It's a standard beer. There's nothing that jumps out to me about it.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, it's my pick.
You want up or me?
Nope, you.
I do think it's kind of dry. As far as being a standard beer, maybe to us, but the next guy probably not. It's got some light hop characteristics that a lot of people wouldn't like, I think. But at the same time, I think this is a Oscar Blues Dale's Pale Ale.
What's up, Tyler?
Done right. Like, I like this more than that one, even though they have basically the same name. It's kind of got some citrusness to it, almost. I don't know what kind of hops it is, but they're definitely familiar. Like, I don't know if it's Centennial or Mosaic, but it's not the real piney shit like you guys said. But it does kind of dry off on the back end to me. It's still refreshing. It's not overly dry. It doesn't completely attack the tongue, but I'll go 7.5 on this one. It's pretty good. I'd probably buy it again. I've been liking the pale ales a lot lately over the last 6 months or so. Hopefully we can do more pale ales instead of like all fruit or all hops. Like that's the kind of middle ground that I don't know.
Everyone's
we do all kinds of shit though.
It is a middle. You're right in that
we
it's a
do
middle
stouts,
ground
we
beer.
do porters, we do. It is a very
Fruit, sour,
yeah.
stout, porter, hop.
It kind of takes on the characteristics of a lot of different beers, other than stouts and porters, of course. But yeah, pretty good.
I like it. It is a very standard beer taste all the way through. I did say it can finish very dry. I think that's my only complaint with this. The hops are not overwhelming at all, which I really appreciate with this. Whenever I think pale ale, I actually think that a lot of pale ales try to prove themselves, and they end up being way more bitter than they ever should be. And they end up,
agree.
They end up having more IBUs than a lot of IPAs that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have had a 70 IBU pale ale on the show, to where we have IPAs that are in the 40 to 60 range.
Right.
So I think that they try to prove themselves as something to be noticed. This actually does a great job of just being a pale ale.
Right.
So it's mild on that hops. That hops isn't very overwhelming. I was saying earlier, you can actually taste hops in this compared to tasting pine. That's the biggest complaint that I generally have with IPAs, is they get so hoppy that they get piney. This doesn't have that at all. This is extremely drinkable. This is incredibly drinkable. To the point where, like, if you wanted a starter IPA, this would be a great way to lead into possibly liking IPAs.
Yeah.
This would be your
IPA segue.
Yeah, this would be your, I'm going to try this. If I like this, I could venture into some IPAs. This is a great beer for that. So if you're looking for something that's different than, a lager, a pilsner, a stout, a porter, anything like that, and you are looking for something that has a bit of that, I want to say hoppy flavor, this should be a go-to. This should be a staple for that. This should be an introductory beer as far as that goes. This, it's very good. That said, it is still only a 7 to me. It doesn't have some of the things that I look for now in one of these types of beers. So it is introductory. It is gateway. So it doesn't have that wow factor. It doesn't have that just thing that makes it stand apart. And a lot of that for me in beers that have hop characteristics or even overly hoppy characteristics is citrus.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pairings of those two things go very well. Hops and citrus go awesome together, but there's a difference between American hops and I want to say European hops, which European hops does have a more citrus flavor to it. This is definitely an American hops as it is an American ale. If this had some lemon, if this had some even lime, I don't think we've ever had like a lime pairing for these, or orange. True. I think it would take this a lot further, because then I don't believe that it would end with any sort of dry note.
See, I don't like the orange ones though, because they go too winey to me, and then you get that harsh flavor instead of that citrus flavor. Yeah, the tangerine shit. That was very winey.
Oh, it was tangerine. Yeah.
Bogatron's back from Twitch. What's up, man? I remember him, and he says pale ales are great daily drinker beers. I agree.
This one would be. This is something you could easily keep in your fridge.
So yeah. I'm trying to figure out how much bullshit Jason's comment about American versus European hops is, because he has no fucking idea where these hops are going.
No. There was a big thing about it with Sam Adams when Sam Adams brewed theirs, and why they used the hops that they used.
What I really want is somebody who actually knows.
Did you miss me?
To comment, to watch this
He's
episode.
So fucking wrong.
Like, he's totally spouting out shit that he just thought of and acting like they're facts. Typical Jason, by far. Oh, these are the European hops. They're way more.
Oh, I'm not
fruity.
saying that in this beer at all. I'm saying this is a a mild pine.
Yeah, this beer you can definitely tell by the
flavor.
taste. These are American hops.
This was brewed in
these were grown in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, I was gonna say these were brewed in the north of the USA. Can you taste that earthy flavor? That's the difference.
Probably Saskatchewan.
Between Maine and Arizona hops.
Pulling shit out of his ass is what that's
called. Did you get a number?
I did. I said a 7. Nice. It's right in the middle of the road.
6.5, 7, 7.5.
So it is something that I'd buy again. I wouldn't go out of my way for it, but I would probably never turn one of these down.
If I can't decide on what beer I want for a weekend, I'm gonna go with something like this.
Yeah.
Like that's a solid fucking choice.
I'm getting an IPA because that's what I'm craving. That's what I'm going to. I'm getting that Divided Sky, which we had 2 weeks ago.
Divided Sky?
Yeah, it's the rye IPA. Wait, we had this last week.
Is there another one of those?
Yeah.
Let me try one of those.
Nah.
Because I tried the Newcastle, which was not bad. It was just kind of a meh beer. It did not taste like an ashtray. But maybe it only tastes like an ashtray to people who were previous smokers. Maybe that's the thing.
That's a good point.
Maybe that's the thing. So you
got to know what an ashtray tastes like to even begin to describe the flavor. God, we hate Chantel. Yeah, this is the Divided Sky with the Taj Mahal style artwork.
That's what I was thinking. Great Divided Sky.
Yeah, this is four hands.
I think my dog missed me.
Who needs a beer? You want a Divided Sky?
Yes, please. I'd like to try that.
Did you try the Free State Guavitas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had it a while ago. You guys said that it tastes. You said it tastes very sour. I didn't think it tastes sour at all. For me, it was not. It was so mildly sour. I was like,
I agree with that. It was not a severely sour beer.
Kind of. Yeah.
I rewatched that part of the cast, and we were talking about how it wasn't one of those sours that it took you 5 drinks to be able to begin to like.
Right.
It was.
I'd agree with that.
Out of the gate, it was acceptable.
Yeah.
First drink.
But it was because it wasn't so overwhelmingly or severely sour that it was just like hard to take in. It was just a nice balanced sour from the get-go. Mild. Time to pee.
I had those the same night I started with those same night that I got some of those the wild sours. I can't remember who makes those, but they had some really good ones. They even have a sour red ale, and that was probably the best one that they had. It turned out really, really good. So we should probably look for some of those.
I was trying to look for some fucking abstract Lagunitas when I was out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw all the regular shit that we see here, so there wasn't exclusive shit to California unless you go to their brewery, probably. You know?
The only thing I can think of whenever you say Lagunitas is when we went to Brad's and we went to the liquor store and then we bought all that fucking meat and the guy day when we had guy day and we went to Lucas Liquor and I bought the cherry sour.
I said mead, not meat.
No, meat.
Okay.
And we had the guy day, and I got those, and those weren't bad. You said you weren't a big fan of those, but I just remember Justin and Charlie fucking pounding down gin and whatever the fuck else they were drinking,
Every
and they were
drink you could
hammered.
think of.
Just fucking hammered.
I didn't see them last night or this morning. They were all passed out except Brad last night when we got there. It was fucking 11:30 or so. 11:40.
Those guys go to sleep pretty early because they go to work pretty early.
Yeah. One of them, Justin or Charlie, went to work at 6. I heard them moving around and shit and leaving, but
probably Justin.
We were still passed out.
Oh, Charlie works at Cerner, so if he's anything like Brad, he just gets to roll in whenever the fuck he wants. Brad texted me the other day. He's like, it's 9:30 and I'm just getting to work. And then around 4 o'clock, I was going to pick up 3:30. I was going to pick up my kid, and that's when I text you guys. I was like, oh man, the road, it's terrible out here. I can't see 10 feet. I can see 100 feet in front of me. Yeah. And Brad texts me back, yeah, but it's the same here. And it's him heading home, and it's 3:30. And I'm like, you work from 9:30 to 3:30? What the fuck is this? What the fuck am I doing?
So, you missed one of the funny things about Chantel.
No, I didn't hit up Firestone Walker. I went to Ballast Point and 8-Bit while I was there.
Chantel apparently is uncomfortable with the thought of other people being able to hear her pee.
Oh, I remember that. Because you're like, I can hear you!
Oh my god, it's so loud! How do you have that much pressure in your stream? Oh, man.
We were talking about it sounding like fried chicken.
Oh, at one point she went upstairs. She could not stay downstairs and have me jeer at her, whatever the word you would use. While she was peeing, she had to go upstairs to use the upstairs bathroom.
So Paige Piper is the same way. Like, she's very bathroom shy.
Turns on the water and shit. Well,
I love when Paige comes over to the house and she has to go pee. And if you even knock on the door, like, she's in there and you knock on it, she can't go for, like, 5 solid minutes. Like, it's such a bladder shy thing.
I'm listening outside the door.
I'm like that if I'm, like, if the house is quiet and I'm trying to take a shit and I know my wife's in the next room, or if I'm in, like, a public bathroom and somebody's next to me and I'm shitting, that gets weird. But, I don't know. Peeing, I don't give a fuck.
Alright, so
good strong stream says a lot about a man.
You mentioned this about shitting, and somebody asked me this the other day, and I was like, no, I only shit at the house. But it was, are you embarrassed whenever you shit in the bathroom in a public restroom? Like, do you just, fuck it, I have to go, I'm pushing, or somebody's in here, I gotta be quiet?
Quiet. There's people at work, though, that'll just blow that motherfucker up. Like, there's grunting and shit, and I'm like, no! No, bro!
I've experienced...
Like, going in.
I take my time. And so, in the time that I'm in there, if there's a steady stream of people, there could be, 1 or 2 guys in the stall beside me. And the other thing that's weird is that I am ruthless. I always go for the handicap stall first. I want the space, but the bad thing is, I've had this happen, where I'm in the handicap stall, and a handicap guy comes in.
I'm going to keep the parental advisory up for this content.
Oh, God.
I mean, handicapped, he wasn't in a wheelchair, but he had the walkers that kind of like...
Oh, that's even worse than being in a wheelchair.
They grasp the upper forearm on both arms, like that, and I was in the handicap stall, and just like I always am,
browsing on your fucking phone, legs spread out, shitting.
Totally. Just scrolling.
That looks like you're flicking the bean. Like,
God.
He looks down. Looks like them legs work fine, bro.
And then this guy comes in. I'm like,
do you have to tell him you were mentally retarded?
I was like, no, I couldn't leave. Once I was there, I was like, oh no.
You had to wait till you fucking finished, washed out with the
Oh God. I can't. It's either I couldn't leave, or I as soon as I realized what was happening, and he was already sat down, it was like rush out before he
don't wash your hands or anything, block your fucking face.
Technically get fined.
Change your shoes in your office so he couldn't
I felt awful.
You.
But I still, to this day, always go for the handicap. There's so much room. It's the way to be.
I'm going to have to invent a new policy to where you have to carry a key card to get in a handicapped stall just to deal with people like Tate. Give them handicapped people first choice.
Well, I had a buddy at one of my other jobs.
Like a tag.
He was like, oh, I just went and took a TDP. I was like, a TDP? He's like, yeah, $2 poop. I was like, $2 poop? And he's like, yeah, I make $10 an hour, 15 minutes, or something along that logic anyway. He's like, so I spend 15 minutes taking a poo. Guess what? Make $2.
I recall, so it is only in extreme circumstances where I use public restrooms, and I remember my stomach being absolutely destroyed, and I was like, fuck it, I gotta go to a public restroom. And I go into this bathroom. I spend a couple minutes wiping down the seat, putting the fucking toilet cover on it. So in the front part where they have a gap in the toilet seat for some fucking reason, I remember packing down toilet paper so my balls don't accidentally touch this dirty fucking toilet. And I destroyed it for like maybe 15 seconds total. And this is one of the reasons why I can never use a public restroom, is the guy next to me goes, God damn! And I was like... I was like, now I just feel really bad. Like, that fucking shit this bathroom. Like, I didn't want to make any more noise. I'm like, no, man. I couldn't justify it to him. Like, man, I just fucking ate dinner and it destroyed my stomach.
How old are you?
No, this is like 3 years ago. Like, this is me as a fucking adult. Like, full on.
So that wasn't a traumatizing moment.
It was just like,
it was just like a confirmation.
Yeah, this is why you don't shit in public, man. Like,
God damn.
Get it, boy.
I think it was more like
so. Me and this guy during high school, Jeff Smith.
It's okay. We love your embarrassing stories, Jason.
We hated algebra, and my school only offered algebra once a once a day. So you either were you didn't have multiple sections.
Oh, so like 1 hour.
Yeah,
block.
It was only available during this one time, and I think it was freshman year. Mrs. Pennington was our algebra professor, and she would yell at us constantly, but it would always be at the end of class, because when algebra started, Jeff inevitably would probably be the first one to just leave class to go to the bathroom, doing it discreetly. Wait until her back was turned, she'd write on the marker board, and then slip out and go to the bathroom. And then I inevitably would wait, 1-2 minutes, and then slip out. Next time her back was turned, and we would spend the entire hour, or at least close to the entire hour, in the bathroom, shitting side by side on the stalls, chatting the whole time.
Sounds more gay than it probably should.
Trading stories about girls. But we just couldn't stand being in algebra. It was like 1:30, right after lunch. You didn't want to be there. And every time we get back, and we would have to come in staggered as well. And so, oh man, she just lit into us It happened every day though. It was inevitable.
If I didn't like a class, I just put my head down and went to sleep.
I
And wait for the bell to ring.
I ever tell you a story of why I got kicked out of geometry?
No.
So I'm pretty good at math. I'm pretty good at math. My geometry teacher he always wore white shirt, black slacks, but he would constantly roll a piece of chalk in his hand, and he would go to the board, and he would stand there and he'd write whatever it is, and then he would grab his crotch and tuck himself in. So he would have these chalk handprints all over his fucking crotch, and the entire time I am too busy cracking up about this, and where I sit in the class is in the back, probably like the second, third row from the back. So I'm way too busy, this motherfucker, I can't believe, is he gonna do it again? Oh yeah, look at this, just fucking white handprint across his nuts, the entire fucking time, because it just stands out. It's such a stark contrast.
Dark pants.
Yeah. And then giggling and smirking the entire time, to where I'm just not paying attention at all, to where I'm just cracking up, and I'm not answering any of the questions or anything like that. So I ended up getting kicked out because I'm just in the middle of class, and he fucking does this, and it looks like somebody just took chalk and rubbed it across his crotch, and I am laughing, and he's just fucking, "You're out! You're out!"
So
and I'm like, "All right, man, I'm fucking out! I'm fucking out, man!" I remember that. His name was Mr. Meidinger.
Jesus. Meidinger?
Meidinger, yep. Oh, I will never forget that.
So I see that you didn't sell the costume that you made for Juele. That you were trying.
Oh, you made this?
Yeah, we made it.
You tried selling it.
Wait. He said you made it. Did you make it, or you guys made it?
We both did. I did a lot of the work. But she helped.
Oh, I was gonna say
it wasn't just her going, "Here, go make this one."
Oh, okay.
She helped me think about it, and yeah.
Did you get it finally?
This was you guys' pair costume, though. You were the green screen, she was the camera.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been easier to be like an outlet and a plug, or Mario and Luigi?
I already had the green screen, and then she came up with that the day of the fucking party. I'm like, yeah, here we go.
Could have just made her dress in something and put a webcam on her head. Then you didn't have to make this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
The biggest, most obnoxious costume?
Pizza.
Wait, what?
Pizza.
Oh.
She told us earlier in chat.
Oh, I thought that was somebody else completely.
No.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, just enjoying my beer.
No, this one's not bad. It actually tastes more like a red IPA than it does a rye IPA. I don't get a lot of rye flavor from it. I do get a lot of IPA flavor from it.
And that was the green screen, right? Huh? I remember rye IPA going through me on the screen.
Do you mean through you like you had a shit in a public bathroom? So, Do you guys see anything about Diablo Immortal?
No.
What? No? Alright, so BlizzCon happened last week, and every year they do some big announcement. Sometimes it's a game, sometimes it's an expansion, whatever.
It's the Diablo on mobile?
Yes.
Okay.
So, this
but-
was their big announcement of the year of, hey, we're going to do, instead of Diablo 4, we're going to do Diablo Immortal.
Didn't Reddit shit on this?
Oh, so BlizzCon, the people at BlizzCon, while this was live, booed. Just fucking booed to where the guy who was presenting didn't know what the fuck to do next.
Just walk off stage?
It went over so poorly. And
Blizzard players don't want a mobile game.
people who are going to pay $700 for a plane ticket and $600 for live Blizzard tickets aren't going there because they are mobile game players. No, those are your hardcore fucking players.
They want Diablo 3 when it was released on PC, when I played it.
Yeah.
Like, not some Diablo 3 on Xbox One either. Like,
Yeah.
They want it on their fucking computer.
So, two companies followed up on that to capitalize the best. And I can't remember who the first one was, but it was another MMO. And they were like, best part about our new MMO? It's not on mobile. And I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, man. That hits you where you live. But then Path of Exile, I don't know if either of you have played that.
No.
It is a big... so the people who liked Diablo 2... Yeah, it was a bunch of people who liked Diablo 2 made this game that was supposed to be the best that they could do for a clone. And it is
a rabbit
incredible.
hole on YouTube. The game's a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
From what I hear.
It is
The skill tree is...
It's 1,000 nodes deep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you go down a character path. No, any character can be anything, and there are hundreds of different gems or hundreds of different skills that you can combine.
Thousands of combinations.
And, yeah. I mean, it's fucking massive. But they said on their page, they were like, oh man, we were going to do our 3.5 announcement, which was that we're working towards this expansion and everything. But our 4.0 announcement was supposed to be that we're going to compete with Diablo 4. But I guess if we don't have to do that now that it's just fucking mobile games. And I was like, oh, damn. God damn. Shots fucking fired.
Yeah, because
good
luck.
It was good.
Good luck, Blizzard, taking people from Fortnite mobile to fucking Diablo mobile.
Well, that and it's not a custom game.
And
so it's a reskin of a game that already launched before and failed. So all they did was reskin the characters and design as Diablo. Because they bought it was a Chinese company who had already released this, and they were like, you know what, now we own your game, let's reskin it for Diablo, this is going to be our big project. And what's funny about this, even more funny, is 4 years ago, Blizzard, jokingly, for April Fool's, said, we're going to release a mobile ARPG, action RPG, which is basically what Diablo was. And it was like, ha ha ha, this is our April Fool's joke. And it was, in fact, their April Fool's joke. It was just a joke. But now they're trying to cash in on some of that mobile money.
yeah.
So it was fucking hilarious.
When Diablo 3 came out on PC originally, like what, 5 years ago?
Oh, 4 or 5, yeah.
6, maybe?
So I know 6.
The game was awesome.
Yeah.
Me and my buddies in Georgia ran through it so many times.
I played it a
And
bunch.
I think we've talked about it, but I made like $200 or $300 off that auction house. The real money auction house.
Before they closed it
before
down.
they broke it.
Yeah.
Because they literally they realized how much money people are making off it and went, we're going to make the enemies do so much damage, you can't get the gold or gil. Is it gil?
No, it's gold.
The gold.
Yeah.
Gil's Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
You can't get enough gold to deal with repair costs to farm loot to sell it. And we stopped playing at that point. And then I hear like years later here working at fucking Vortex, after I moved back and shit, that people at Vortex are playing on their Xbox One. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah. It's on Switch now.
So they
The
just
Eternal
released an
Collection
old ass game on a new console?
Oh, yeah.
Basically?
It just came out on Switch like
and people are
3-4
still
weeks
paying
ago?
$50 for it?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I got bored of that game 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
a lot
excellent,
of the classes
though.
weren't balanced, and a lot of the skill trees weren't
Dude,
balanced.
that game was
They-
incredible.
They did eventually flesh it out a little more, but then like when I want to say the new class was the Necromancer.
Yeah,
Whenever that came out, like that,
They really
it's
sat
still
with the console release,
super
right?
overpowered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's still super
When I
overpowered
played
because
it,
that's
I had
what you have to
4,
buy
The
into.
Barbarian, the Demon Hunter, the Witch Doctor, and
Monk.
Monk.
Was it Monk? Okay.
Dude, that
That's-
game was awesome.
Monk was the best. I love the Monk.
Still good. Did either
I
of you
went
guys play?
Barbarian.
Good barb is always appropriate.
Did you guys play Torchlight 2 at all?
Uh-uh.
So that was another company that tried to do the Diablo 2 clone, but they made theirs more cartoony. They did a wonderful job with
Kind of like
Torchlight,
more,
and then Torchlight 2 was just great.
more. What's that survival game?
Ooh, there's tons of them.
I know, but it's like cartoon cutouty.
Overwatch?
Don't Starve,
Oh, yeah.
like that style.
No,
No?
not nearly like that. More like WoW kind of cartoony.
Okay.
So I mean, it looks human-y, but it looks a little
Yeah.
altered. Speaking of Don't Starve, they just released a new DLC last
Dude, that
Tuesday.
game was so hard.
Oh,
What's
it's
DLC?
fucking stupid.
Julie and I have
It's
tried Don't
stupid
Starve together
hard.
so many times. It's so fucking hard.
What's DLC?
Downloadable content.
You try and do so good, and then it doesn't matter.
Oh
You
no,
chop down too many trees, you're fucking dead.
you can't build walls, and
Yeah.
now your insanity starts in.
Like, I
and
wish they
blah,
had
blah.
difficulty levels to where you could enjoy it more instead
Yeah.
of just dying. Because you put in a week or two of like time in the game, and you fucking die. It's like, god damn it, we were just getting a rhythm going.
That's what gets me about that game is there's no point.
Yeah.
It is like the literal goal is don't starve. Like don't starve, don't go insane.
But I want to win. Or like at least last a while,
Yeah.
and then you don't know the cause of what you did.
No.
It doesn't go, next time don't do this. It's just you fucking die and you're like, what did we do?
You died. You went insane. You didn't eat enough flowers
Yeah.
or wear enough fucking
I hate
hats.
that shit. You can't learn from your mistakes. It's just like, oh, better luck next time. Fuck you.
No, that game was alright. Yeah,
I
I
still need to finish-
really like the visual style to it though.
Yeah,
But
it's done well.
sorry, you were saying you
I still need to finish God of War.
Oh,
Which one? The new one for
new
PS4?
one. Yeah, it's good, dude. I'm probably halfway through.
I need to play it.
The
still.
bosses, dude, they're like, I get the fucking, they get my adrenaline going sometimes.
Yeah,
Like fucking Dota used to do.
man, maybe I need to do that. Like I played Horizon Zero Dawn, and I expected a lot out of that game just because of how well the reviews were and how well the previews were and all that stuff. It disappointed me. It just eventually got grindy, and
Fuck, they're always grindy, bro.
I don't like that newer games are just very grindy. Like that's their point. Hey, if we can keep people playing this game long enough, eventually they'll buy our skins or they'll buy our DLC that doesn't really add anything.
I think those games, MMOs should take a new turn and go, how good is this player at their class? And do these, like, whether they're time trials with your rotation or, like, doing so much DPS per minute or second. If you can break through these walls they set, fuck the side quests. Here's your XP. Like, you're good at this class. And then you get to the end game quicker. Rather than you just grinding the fucking level 60 for 2 weeks, 8 hours a day. Like, they need to revamp the whole fucking way of the MMO because I won't play another one. They're
You say that,
so fetch questy.
But WoW Classic's coming back out next summer. I plan to play the fuck out of that. I want to spend
I won't
6
do
weeks getting to 60. Yes,
Nope.
that's what I want to do.
I got shit to do,
Can't
but
wait.
I love to play an MMO if they revamp the fucking way they do it.
There are a lot of things that are trying now to
It's
make
like,
it to where
oh, Johnny,
it is full skill based rather than level based.
Johnny needs
that-
3 necklaces. Go find them.
That's what
Fuck
Guild
you.
Wars tried to do. Is they tried to do a complete skill based. What was it? Daggerfall also did that, where it was fully skill based rather than level based. That went sideways on them. That ended up turning against them. For like 6 weeks, people couldn't even beat the original goblins that were out in the open area.
It's got to
So
be done right
it was-
to where you keep the people that are shit leveling, and you keep the elite
to where they're doing raids, and then you have elite players playing with elite.
So I would almost think the exact
trash through.
I would almost think the exact opposite, because the people who are going to consume your media quickest, you don't want to get to the upper echelons the quickest. So a lot of the issues that you see with new MMOs is they don't expect people to level and get to end game as quick as they do, and then they have no end game content, and then they just fucking tank.
Yeah, I've dealt
because
with that.
I mean it's 6 months to a year before they have their next raid or they start releasing new dungeons. So those people aren't paying for it anymore. Terra is a wonderful example. It was in Korea for 6 years before it came to the U.S.
True.
In the U.S., it got launched, and within 10 days, they had 60% plus of their player base at in-game, and they were just consuming all that content, and they had nothing to do. And then it ended up going free to play.
The same thing with Sutor.
Yeah. I mean,
I played the shit out of that, and they couldn't keep up with people like our guild doing fucking world firsts.
Yeah, they can't
like,
because they don't expect it.
Outrunning the bugs.
Yeah. So they make 200 hours of content, but what they don't realize is when you play 20 hours a day, that's less than 2 weeks. And people were doing 20 hours a day. I mean, it really happens.
Yeah, I can't go back to that life. I was fucking losing my shit.
20 hours a day?
Not that much, but I'd work my 8-hour or 10-hour job in Georgia and then game till 3 in the morning and then get up at 5 or 6 and go to work again and then just fucking raid.
I did that with Diablo 3.
Work and raid.
And Final Fantasy 9.
9? 9 was a single-player game.
I loved it.
Oh.
I loved it.
Oh.
Final Fantasy 9 was my shit.
I'm glad you said 9 and not 10, but 7. 7 was where it was at.
I love 9. 9 was the one that really
go back and play 7. I fucked that game up and didn't save enough. 9
was actually was a game that taught me how to read.
There's hundreds of hours of reading, man.
That was
Jesus Christ.
And I could never, like, all the teachers that tried to get me to read, they wouldn't hold my attention.
I think games taught me to read too.
I was too ADD.
Taught me how to type.
I was
and
way
how to work
too,
on computers.
If you wanted to follow the story, it was like reading a book, but it was interactive.
Yep.
With all the little bubbles popping up when you're talking and you're doing everything. I didn't learn to read properly until I was in like 5th grade.
And it's just like old school cats learning to read off comic books. It's the same type of learning. It's just a video instead of a fucking magazine type for a comic book. I couldn't sit down and read books. Like I know you read a lot as a child, but I didn't do one book report till fucking high school in my life. I just didn't do them.
I was allowed to play video games on the weekends between noon and 3, and that was it. And I was like, why do we have all these video game systems? I'm not allowed to play 6 hours a goddamn week. And it wasn't even, it was everybody. So I have had 4 brothers and sisters. Now I have 3 brothers and sisters. But we were only allowed to play combined 6 hours a week. And it was Saturdays and Sundays. And I'm like, God damn it.
What do you get, like 20 minutes?
God damn it. Yeah.
A week?
Pretty much it. So, it sucked.
Yet again, coming up with anecdotal proof he knows how to read.
It's not true. It's definitely not true.
It was way more interesting. Like a video game, you kind of know the premise and what you're getting into. So then it made it easier for me to read too, probably like you, instead of.
And they have interesting storylines.
And it's like chapter 1 through fucking 6 blow dick. I don't know.
The worst thing?
I read the first chapter. If it doesn't captivate me, I'm done.
So the worst thing about Final Fantasy 9 was my original PlayStation 1. I don't even know if it was the PS one. It was the PlayStation one. Like they had they had the 2 different versions, like the original clunky one, the newer slim one.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever there would be like the moment where it transferred from your control to where it was like in movie mode.
The cinematics.
The cinematics. Mine would freeze.
FMVs.
FMV?
Yeah.
What's the acronym mean?
Something motion video.
Okay. So
maybe
they would be so. Either my my original PlayStation was so underpowered, or the game was too overpowered. Whenever one of those would start, I would get like 10 seconds in.
Oh my god! Sorry, that was funny.
I would get like 10 seconds in, and it would be like, okay, it's leading. Oh, this is something epic, momentous, right? Oh, the dragons, whatever, and then it would lock up and be, and it was because it was so underpowered, and I had to like open the disc cover a couple times. I had to do whatever I could to get it to progress past that, and then I would not get to see the scene, but I would be able to resume or start from the point post scene. So I would miss all of the content. I would miss all of the beautiful content that these Japanese artists had made.
Oh, hundreds of hours worth.
Oh, yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck happened? It was so painful. I had to look them up online later to figure out what the hell I missed.
That sucks.
We appreciate it.
Some were good, especially the first, I don't know, 10 hours of that game. Tons of F&Bs. Tons.
Dude,
Tons.
Final Fantasy 14 was beautiful. It was MMO.
Oh yeah.
So much.
Oh, it's still beautiful.
Great cinematics.
Brad and I have been talking about for a while when the next Final Fantasy VII comes out. Prior to it coming out, like the remaster, going back through 1, 2, the new 7,
and racing,
play through the whole thing. So we've talked about. I actually think we might just take a week and see how much we can get done prior to that actually getting launched.
You should do it as a team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It'd be done in either
Rotate.
tandem or like I play 1 and he plays 2 at the same time. We'll just go through it. But I think. And if I didn't realize Tate, you like those. Maybe we should all be involved. I mean, he's got enough shit going on down here. We could all easily play on different systems.
I think I tried to play Final Fantasy VII later, after I played 9, and I couldn't get into it because it was like so like it was older than what I was used to as far as its,
and even the visual style is older, and just some of the mechanics are clunkier.
And I tried. I put in the effort.
You don't have the nostalgia factor.
But I don't have the nostalgia.
Oh.
Exactly that.
It's kind of like It's kind of like playing Metal Gear Solid 4 first, and then going back to play Metal Gear Solid. You're like, oh man, this is where it all started, and this is where the original stuff. This is fucking garbage. Yeah, it's definitely like that. So I get it. I totally get it. He loved California. Some dude tried to sell him weed close to the beach
on the
with
beach.
his shirt off.
Yeah, some jack dude.
And he went to a few breweries, so it was pretty good. Snake, it's Otacon, and then Old Snake. Oh, poor Snake, poor fucking Snake. You didn't play any of the Metal Gear Solid games, did you?
I played some of them.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Another series I would like to go through. If we're gonna start doing like Brews Bros fucking playthroughs.
Oh, we should Twitch
like,
this shit
that'd
up,
be a
man.
nice Twitch side series or something.
Totally.
to kind of get us into Twitch a little more. Are you guys talking about Metal Gear?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. I played 1 and 2 like way back when I was young.
2.
Dave likes it too.
I have. I've big boss moded everything since 2. Number 1, I haven't. 2, 3, 4.
2 or 3.
All of them. 5. Yes. 5 was wonderful, but yeah, 100% Ghost playthroughs. No detections. All achievements. I fucking love those.
2 or 3, I had to stop because of underwater part. Fucking gave me mad
2,
anxiety.
probably towards the end of 2.
I think it was 2.
Yeah.
I couldn't pass it, and I was tired of feeling like I was drowning in a game. Like, it made me feel like I'm drowning. That shit fucks me up.
I collected all the dog tags in 2. Like, I fucking tore those games up.
You were holding your breath the whole time.
I love those games.
Twisted Metal? Hell yeah. I have that on my pie that I sell, so.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I played Twisted Metal.
Dave, I want to bounce a couple lighting options for our show off of you before I order. Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, we just got the money to do it by the generosity of the couch.
Yep.
It worked out though.
California rules, if you ask me. Santa Cruz is awesome. I didn't make it at Santa Cruz. We went to San Diego, La Jolla, Murrieta, Temecula, and Pacific Beach. That was kind of where we were.
I think I'm going to do a California West Coast trip here in the next year or so.
Dude, it would have been nice to just like Julie and I drive up the coast on 5.
I think that's what we'll do. Is we might fly into Seattle and go down, or we might fly into LA and go up. One of the two. My brother lives in LA. We'd probably stay with him for a night or two, rent a car, and then start to make our way. But I'm gonna make it a jiu-jitsu trip / other trip because I'm gonna go train at 10th Planet, and if I can meet Eddie Bravo and be like, "Yo, Bravo, can I take you out to lunch and buy you a beer?" And if I can get him to go out, I'm like, "Yo, chemtrails, let's talk about it." That would be amazing. That would make my day. But apparently, like the 10th Planet, they still do a free class.
Oh yeah, that's what I wish I could have seen when I was there, though. The Redwoods.
Oh yeah, that's a must. It's a must.
I gotta do that someday.
But then the other place is Empire Jiu-Jitsu, Kurt Osiander.
Yep.
I have to go see Kurt and take a bottle of whiskey and be like, "Kurt, you gonna drink this with me?
Let's take a shot and roll.
Let's take a fucking shot and roll. Let's go." So
I missed something here.
we're talking about a California trip. Those are my two like have to do bucket list, non-negotiable must-have items. And if I can make that happen, it would just be epic. Roll with the 10th Planet Freaks, it would be epic.
Oh yeah.
Moon landing was faked.
Absolutely. Just like 9/11 never happened.
Did you
Look it up. Look into it.
Did you watch the Joe Rogan or listen to the Joe Rogan with Earnhardt Jr. on it?
I've seen some of them, but they didn't interest me, so I didn't click on them.
Or the guy from today?
I saw the eye guy, the guy who was talking about like
No, the ancestry guy, like human.
Guy with brown glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him today.
Joe was kind of like, "Where are you getting all this information, dude? You're claiming all this shit as facts, but you don't have any like evidence to back your shit up." But he had a lot of good points as far as like how humans started from being chimps or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that guy.
Or primates.
It was
pretty interesting.
I saw like 15 minutes of it, and then I left my office, and then I came back, and I was doing other stuff.
I'm gonna have to finish it, but I made it probably halfway through, and it was pretty good. Him and dude going back and forth. The Earnhardt Jr. one was good because I didn't realize he gave a lot of backstory as far as, and I used to be into NASCAR when I lived in Georgia, but fuck off.
No, it's not that.
Yeah,
there's a vine of a guy. He's like, you know what? I only believe in one race, the human race. And the other dude smacks the fuck out of him, and he goes, "But what about NASCAR?"
No, he talks about how like his dad was hard on him and didn't give a fuck. Like, they didn't even talk about racing, or he didn't try to help him become a race car driver. Junior was fucking changing oil at some dealership while his dad was a fucking champion. Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't give a fuck.
Oh, wow.
He's like, "You're my boy and you're a little bitch. Like, prove yourself."
What is Gavin saying? My dad was part of the Clean It crew. People can argue the casualty, but there's no argument regarding the tragedy. We're talking about Dale? I'm assuming we're talking about Dale. Your dad worked for NASCAR, Gavin? Gavin?
My brother was part of the Clean It.
Your brother, sorry.
The casualty, but there are no argument regarding it.
I'm assuming he's talking
Maybe
about
the moon landing still. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, what is he talking about?
Chill, buddy. You ain't getting no beer. No.
You're talking about the evolution, dude. Brad was talking to me a while back about...
Oh, 9/11. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Brad was talking to me a while back about a religion thing that he saw of Ricky Gervais on, I want to say it was the Colbert Show. And
Colbert.
Where he was talking to him about that, and he's like, "You're a very devout Catholic, and you're very with that. Is that correct?" And he's like, "Yes." And he's like, "But you're not. You don't believe that there's any God. Blah blah blah. Heathen. Yada yada. You know how he jokes around about that." He goes, "It's not that." He's like, "It's that you believe in one God, yes?" And he's like, "Yes." He's like, "There are over history thousands of gods. Do we both agree on that?" Yes. He's like, so I choose not to believe in, let's say, 3,000 gods. You're choosing not to believe in 299. That's the only difference between the two of our perspectives. I'm like, yeah, that's a great point. But one of the other things was science compared to religion. And he's like, so these religious beliefs that you have, you say that these things happen, but there's no evidence to them. I believe in science. Eventually, the things that I believe in can be recreated. Can things that you believe in be recreated? And no, they can't, or that possibly not.
And story.
Or, they're not based on some sort of repeatable process. So I was like, oh, that actually makes sense. I get that. It's a very good counter argument. I like that.
Oh shit, I just had something I was gonna say. God
it's
damn
hard
it!
though, because you like what is the scientific side of? I guess you can say it's experimental, like good and bad. Good and bad can be an experiment. Like it either makes you feel good or bad, or it tastes good or bad. I guess that can be scientific too, rather than like religion based. Oh, because I was trying to fight for that side of it too. Like,
so I was reading this morning about a church just outside of Springfield, Missouri, that this is one of the mega churches in Springfield, which they're everywhere. They're bigger than universities.
That's what I've heard. Like they're one of the biggest places for it.
My buddy Josh lives just down like 2 blocks away from a church that's bigger than most university buildings.
No,
it's enormous.
That's insane.
But I can't remember what the name of the church, but it was in the news this morning, and it was this church during one of their sermons was discouraging their patrons from doing yoga because it opened the body up to demonic positions, and sun salutations are opening yourself to demonic principles. And God. The people of the people that attend this were drinking the Kool-Aid. These local yoga places have seen just in a week, have seen a dramatic drop in their attendance because this church said, and we discourage the act of yoga. This is bad for you. You don't want to do it. It's gonna
lay down or go.
Just gave these people this horrible idea of it, and they followed. The fact that these people can't think for themselves, they just take what the church says and they say, "Oh, okay, if that's what they say, then obviously that's the truth." Take it at face value.
Dave says he'd love to chat about that stuff with you guys, about the philosophical stuff. You need to watch our religious apologist debate, Richard Dawkins.
I love it, Dave.
Should be on the show, David.
Let's do it.
I need to get you on.
Let's do it.
Even if you want it off camera, like we should get together and talk. Like I'm fine with either way.
You've hung out with all of us.
Let's do it off camera and then work up to on camera.
And reality, yeah, dude. I love talking about deep shit instead of like we were talking about the forecast, small talk. Like, hey, how's it going? Fuck that. Let's talk about some shit.
Yep.
What do you believe in? Like, I'm not gonna hate you for it. I want to see your side of shit so that I can relate to it or go, well, how do I feel about it? Because it's hard to just feel.
It's hard to have an opinion about everything
shit without hearing somebody else's. Yep. A lot of the time.
So you mentioned that about religion and people following it blindly. Have either of you ever watched the movie The Witch?
I think I've seen previews or like I know about it because we went and watched a Possession movie with Dave and Cherry a couple weeks ago, and I think that was a preview, and they were talking about how good it was.
So it kind of follows the same line a little, but the beginning part of it's definitely social or about social issues that have to do with the church of these people believing so much into what the church says that they go against their own family, they go against their own farm, they go against their farm animals, they go against the whole thing. Then it goes into it actually being a movie, but it does play along those same lines of how much religious people do buy into certain concepts without any factual evidence, without anything based on pure faith.
What causes that?
Yeah, I think
people
the need to believe.
Faith?
Well, I think the need to believe. So I can understand the need to believe too, because I can't remember who said it, but
can't.
Either we're alone in the galaxy or there are other lives in the galaxy. Both are equally scary. And I completely agree with that. But it's also the same principle for religion. Either this is all crazy random happenstance and there's absolutely no point in it, or there's, more of a true meaning for it and there is something afterwards. If you knew right now that after you died, none of this mattered, would you live your life differently? Would you be just the complete ruthless asshole who says, fuck everybody else, I need to do the things that make me happy all the time because none of this matters afterwards? Or would you be a good person so that your memory could live on?
I'm almost to that point already to where I just do me. And then if people are cool with it, they're cool with it. If they're not, they're not. Like, the older I get, the closer I get to that.
So the older you get, the more Squidward you get, the less SpongeBob you get?
Like, I agree with both to where I want people to remember me. Like, that'd be fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's going to be because I was 100% Chris Reiner. Not because I tailored to other people wanting me to be a certain way.
But you die twice. You die the day that you die, and you die the day that your name is last uttered. If you can make your memory in a positive light live on for a very long time, that's just as good as making your name live on in a, I want to say,
by birth.
Conqueror?
By birth or war?
Thing, yeah. I mean, look at some of the people that we remember from history. I mean, we do Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Achilles, these powerful figures, Napoleon. I mean, we remember some of these figures from the past. It's not a lot of people that we remember. It's not a lot, but they did do major, major accomplishments. Did everybody else get what it was that they were seeking in life?
But or the only major for our time frame.
Are you still good working your 40 now?
No. I'm never been good working my 40.
Sucks.
So it's interesting when you begin to start to question a lot of things.
Every day I value my time more and more rather than money.
Oh,
millennials.
Millennials or that generation is a lot more about that too.
So everybody, I mean, it's typical for us to form our own internal identity based off of our beliefs. The trouble becomes when you start to question your beliefs because somebody raises a point that is intriguing.
That's wisdom.
You then begin to say, whoa, okay, I've held this belief for my entire life. Now I'm coming to the conclusion that this belief that I've had my entire life is false. Mm-hmm. And then you begin to realize that every belief that you have, everything that makes up your identity is that you take as being concrete and as being the truth, the real truth, and you start to question whether that's truth, whether that's reality, and then you begin to redefine your own perception of the world and whether or not these things that you take as being the proper stance. I'm a Republican. This is my stance. I'm a Democrat. This is my stance. Then you start to have some parts of that foundation crumble, and then that it starts a butterfly effect to where you begin to question all these other things that you hold these firm stances on. Well, is this actually is this meritorious, or is this just something that has been driven in my head? Mm-hmm. I mean, think about history books.
That's what I don't understand even today, that bipartisan, that term, isn't more known rather than Republican or Democrat, because bipartisan is a blend of the two. It's just how much you believe of each, your percentage.
Think of we're required to go to 12,
regardless of decision's a decision.
I guess we're not required. We're required to go through junior high through middle school. Mm-hmm. We're not required to graduate high school. Most people graduate high school. But think about that. Think about the fact that when you were going through these required courses, you're being taught things. You're being taught things as absolute truths. And you're being
Christopher
taught
Columbus. You were taught about Christopher Columbus, and you don't understand how much of an absolute he was a bad dude. He was bad.
There's so much shit they taught us that is just like gone now. And we at that time, I remember going, "This is the only way."
I still encounter people that, I mean, that are much older than me that have never questioned these things.
Yeah,
and I'm at a questioning point in my life where I'm questioning a lot of things.
A lot of those people, why would you ever have to? How much does it affect your day-to-day life? It doesn't. But it's also because of Maslow's law. We have certain things that are met to us to where we no longer have... We don't have to fight for food. We don't have to fight for shelter. We don't have to fight for comfort. So what do we fight for? We fight for information, and we fight for social issues. That's what we do. So that's where we're at now.
We had kind of a heated discussion about Christopher Columbus over at my dad's house the other day, and it was funny because it was me, my sister-in-law, my dad, my brother, and she was like, "Well, you can't deny that he discovered this," and we're like, "Whoa, yes, I deny it with your first sentence. You can't discover something that's already inhabited.
Yeah. Not to mention,
that's fucking false."
They have found Viking coins all over our continent.
On this,
all over it, which was well prior to Christopher Columbus being here.
Do you believe the whole, was it Russia to Alaska bridge? All the ice age was happening?
Maybe.
So
maybe,
it was
maybe
inhabited
not.
Before he even
got
got
I don't
here?
have a solid view. Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
To where the New World was already inhabited with people that crossed that bridge while it was a bridge. Now it's underwater because there is no ice.
That was supposed to be the same thing that happened with Japan. Japan was supposed to be connected to Korea and China. And
there was less water then.
Yep, and there were people that were over there, and then it got separated, and that's when that entire
always
country
go
happened.
By ship
it
or
was,
swim.
Yeah, it was impossible for them to actually get to where they needed to go by ship because of the sudden influx of water.
So, that's the only history I care about is like origin and ancestry and where people come from. I don't give a fuck about the Civil War is important and like World War I, blah blah, all that bullshit. It's important, but only to an extent. Like that's a very small time.
David, we need to just hang out more, bro.
A 4-year period in the grand scheme of shit.
So
the grand scheme of shit is what interests me.
Some of that,
not just American history,
too, and some of our history as far as Christians. I mean, going to a different country that does have a very old culture, which is, I was in Japan, seeing statues that have been there for 10,000 years. It says, "Oh, your religion's fake. The things that you know are fake. There's
10,
no way."
10,000 years?
Oh yeah, they have shit that's been there since the foundation of that entire country. They have shrines that are multiple thousands of years old. I mean, they have things that are commonplace that are older than our entire country, that are older than our entire written history, and it's crazy to see their development during our Christian Dark Ages when people couldn't get here. It's insane to see. It's also the same thing of calculus. You know the foundation of calculus?
That was Newton, wasn't it?
Calculus was founded in 4 different countries at the exact same time based on the exact same principles of mathematical science.
Experimentation.
So these aren't just things that happened in one area. They are things that you know by...
Those are things I believe in.
They are things that you know about
shit.
Based on the person who's most well known for them, or based on your culture who's most well known for them. But these are things that happen over time that do predate a lot of the stuff that you've heard about or that you know about. It's the same things as other religions. The reason why there were gods of the sun, gods of the waves, gods of the everything, because it was in a different area where it was much more believable than it is for us. We live in the Midwest. Do we have a god of the ocean? Fuck no, not here. That's not present at all. So you would never believe in something like that.
Go over some of the shit Dave mentioned, so we're not just discarding his comments. if you were born in a box from birth, your perception of the world would only be based on the four corners. So who's living in the box is a bigger question, and what evidence exists that there is something beyond the box.
So that question is almost the fact of, why do you believe that there are only 3 dimensions? Is it because you don't think that you perceive a 4th dimension? Or you don't know what a 4th dimension is? Is it the same reason why you believe you have 5 senses?
A lot of people don't know what a 4th is. Or even a 3rd.
I mean,
a lot of people think we live in a 2D world, I bet. like the flat earth motherfuckers.
Bravo.
Like, for real.
The fact that flat earth people are not just a complete joke.
Like, I don't wanna be that person. Or I'm not even saying this is what I believe. But there comes a point to where you just have to like discard people or almost get rid of. Like fucking zombie meth heads, people that don't fucking traverse with society, like the flat earthers. Like, you don't have a fucking point.
I'm going to say people who can't entertain their own thoughts, people who only regurgitate other people's information, are people who should not be counted. That's you were mentioning this earlier. When you can take your own perceptions and you can consider somebody else's, that's the difference between taking fact as intelligence. When you can say, hey, this thing is a fact and I know it, that's intelligence. When you can say, this thing is a fact because I have been able to prove it, I have heard the counter arguments to it, and I've been able to form my own opinion based on everything else. That is wisdom. I mean, that's the difference between hearing about history and saying this person was a hero, and then hearing about history and saying this person was an okay person that did this great thing for us. That's absolutely the difference.
And that great thing for us can be temporary too.
Oh, absolutely.
So in the thought about having kids. Like,
holy shit.
Holy
shit.
The thought about having kids, and I went through public education. Public education offers a lot of things. But do you want to offer, or do you want to present your kids in a scenario where they're going to be sold lies for the first...
Fuck no.
For 12 years while they're going through school, because it's the narrative that is based on the agenda that is trying to be fucking sold at the time. I have difficulty with that, because at the same time, public schools is where your kids are going to learn how to fucking survive.
I can't chime in because I don't have children, but I think if I did have one...
Obviously, I'm not going to afford sending my kid to some private school. I don't want no private school
Even
kid.
Even at private school, they're going to teach them things
I know.
like that. So, I think the best course of action...
You're going to teach them your own version of shit.
In the course of action that I take with my daughter, she asked me about religion the other day, and she said, who was Jesus Christ, and why do people believe in Jesus Christ? And I explained to her the belief in it, and she said, do you? And I said, I don't at all. I believe that there may have been a person, and there may have been a following that's happened multiple times in history, and blah, blah, blah. And I explained to her, and I said, but if this is something that you choose to believe in, this is something that you want to pursue, that's up to you. That's your choice. But I will provide you the information that I happen to know. And it's that whole thing. I mean, that's the exact same thing with Christopher Columbus. Whenever that happens, where she gets taught that in school, and she said, actually, it's already happened, where she was talking about Columbus Day, and I said, hey, he wasn't as great as you think he is. He actually landed here. This is what happened. There were people that were here. I said, but you were going to be told about this, this, and this. You're going to celebrate Columbus Day, and Christopher Columbus founded America. I said, that is, in our history, undeniable. I said, that as far as we are concerned, that is undeniable. I said, so
hell yeah, Dave.
What you choose to form afterwards is based on information. But we are also in an age now where small pieces of information that can be proven have a lot better of a chance to spread. If you have this little bit of niche knowledge that has factual evidence, that can go from 10 people knowing about it to the world knowing about it, as long as it's factual now. Before, it would have to be written in a book, and it would have to go to some sort of society or some sort of scholar to actually be spread. That doesn't have to be the case now. So that's why a lot of these things are changing and why a lot more social issues are being brought up, because they're easily presented to everybody involved, which are things with our history, things that we know as factual that may not have actually been factual. So I think some of that stuff's going to change by the time you're kids in middle school or high school, or where these things are changing, because technology is progressing at such a rate that we won't have a choice but to adapt to it, and as far as our education.
Delete the wrong information.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. Anything. Basically, it would be a Wikipedia article, and if you can't back it up with information, it's not valid. And
why isn't that already a thing?
We're moving towards that. A lot of places are moving towards almost exactly that, to where they are changing some of the things that you and I may have known as fact in the past, to where they are making it as, this was taught to us, or this is the accepted belief, but there is evidence to the contrary.
That's true.
But people are still sharing memes that are created by people that include no fucking actual validity and sharing them. They're like, yo, this is the proof. This right here. This is why I have the stance I have. You're like, you realize that,
like,
totally fucking fake.
Satan's buried bones in the ground in order to test your faith.
Or that yoga is opening you up to demonic spirits.
That's crazy, though.
Oh, you mean doing some poses on the ground will make me more receptive to a pagan ideology? Which, by the way, Christmas is Jesus,
or Halloween, or a lot of things that we celebrate. Can you say that all the holidays that you celebrate that are not patriotic holidays, that are religious-based holidays, you understand fully and completely their origin and why they happen? Probably not most of them.
Dude, I don't agree with 90% of the holidays I partake in. Like, we're basically brainwashed from the fucking womb to participate in Christmas and Thanksgiving. Like, Thanksgiving's fine, whatever. We get together and fucking eat. But, like, all the other bullshit.
Oh, you mean Thanksgiving when the indigenous people fed the immigrants,
our pilgrims who starved,
the immigrants that were refugees from their country seeking asylum, and the indigenous people took them in, accepted them, and tried to nurture them.
Where if you watched Euro Trip, it was all the prudes who left the fucking country.
And then we thanked them by giving them inoculated blankets full of fucking smallpox.
The whole social pressure behind Christmas and shit is crap. Like, I've been trying to convince, not my whole family, but my wife and mom, like, fuck this. Let's just stop with the whole, let's spend $800 on fucking Christmas every year.
Oh no, I love being able to do that. Also, Amy, like, that sounds incredible, and I want to listen to that podcast.
I'm going
to text it to my wife.
Called Stuff You Missed in History Class, and basically everything we learned in school is crap.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm going to have to look that up for work, too.
Stuff we learned in history class. I'll look that up.
I agree with Dave, too. Like, comments ago, he said, today's the best version of history we're living in. Like,
history's written by the winners.
Fucking, we have running water. But people aren't grateful.
We have stable electricity.
Yeah. We're sitting here fucking drinking on a couch, talking to people online. It's fucking awesome. But people don't appreciate shit these days.
Mr. Kinsler used to say it to us every time in any of his classes. Computers aren't magic, guys. Computers are basically fucking magic. They are basically fucking magic. You literally have... So, look at your TV screen right now. What you're seeing is literally nothing but electricity. Let that sink into you.
Yeah.
No. It's not being conveyed by electricity. It is literally
tons of
nothing
lights
but electricity. The whole reason that you are seeing your display, your words, your fonts, our pictures, everything in there is nothing but open and closed circuits. There's nothing more there's nothing more difficult to it than that. It is a fucking wizard wrote these goddamn programs that convey this shit into visual form.
No.
I'm sorry, that motherfucker is a goddamn wizard.
Now, this is written, and we're using it. But if society collapses tomorrow and doesn't get back up and running for 50 years, do we have that again?
Yes, we absolutely do. There are tons of books about how
Do you think it's backed
microprocessors
up?
work. Yes. I know for a fact...
the information can be there, but if people can't comprehend it, it doesn't fucking matter.
I know for a fact that there are
A tree falls in the woods.
thousands and thousands and
What's up,
thousands of technology books that have to deal with situations like this that are completely overlooked. I mean, anybody, if you want to be a thought leader in IT culture, you write a book. So all this information is backed up, and you just use everybody else's information. It's not your own. It's all been fucking written, no matter what. But for shit like this, in order to recreate this, yes, you absolutely could do that. You would have to spend some time actually understanding how a lot of this shit works. Like, I work on computers every day. I could not tell you in any way, shape, or form how a microprocessor works other than how it processes ones and zeros. I could not tell you how a microchip
How's
is
an
formed.
RGB process ones and zeros?
That I actually do know. But I could not tell you how...
I know it's all percentage based on what color, right?
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. I could not
On
tell
the
you
spectrum?
how a microchip works and why are they all green. I fucking couldn't tell you that. Is it because green's an easy color? How do
motherboards.
how do these capacitors work? I don't know how these capacitors work because that's actually electric engineering. I don't know how these things work.
That's almost,
so there's a lot of build there. There's a lot.
That's almost
of build
as complicated as the software side of things is the
Oh,
hardware.
yeah.
Oh, the hardware.
What the fuck?
You take the hardware for granted, but it's because somebody's already set that foundation. That's the whole reason why. So the Spectre and God damn it, what was the other one that happened along with Spectre last year? There were two big CPU faults that happened. One was Spectre and one was something else. I can't remember the fucking name for it. But basically, every
WannaCry?
CPU... No, WannaCry was a virus that was attacked. This was an exploit that was found. But there were two huge CPU exploits that were found, and it was based on every single CPU because it was just a fault in how they were created. So when something was imported into memory, it still had a cache somewhere else, and that cache could actually be tapped into so that it could actually pass to your full memory. That may or may not be a simplified version, and it may or may not be 100% correct, but that's basically the way that it happened. So it wouldn't lock it down. You know about semaphore locks. I doubt you know about semaphore locks. But so it wouldn't lock it down 100% like the OS does with Windows. So Windows, whenever it locks down your system files, it locks down a lot of stuff like where your password's kept, where your user profile's kept, things like that, so that they can't be altered and they can't be accessed after your original boot. So what this actually did was those have to be stored somewhere in order for it to verify it.
Yeah.
It tapped into where it's stored for verification. So that's how those worked. So it's very
it's
rare
kept
that
somewhere.
you can...
That way it authenticates it.
Exactly.
Like, it's not going off of just some unanimous shit sitting
So
somewhere.
it doesn't pull the final setting if it can't verify the former setting.
Yep.
So that's exactly how it worked.
It's an if-then rule. If typed in correctly, then you can get on your fucking computer.
Pretty much. So that's what it would do, is it would tap into these processes and it would say, hey, we know this thing is supposed to be locked, and we know that you're looking at it, and we know that it's locked. Do you have this stored anywhere else? Great. Return everything else. It's kind of like, do you remember Heartbleed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Heartbleed, what it would do is you would say, hey, I need a password, and I need 40 characters in that password. And they'd be like, hey, but it only has 10 characters. And you'd be like, oh, okay, so it's a 10-character password. Cool. I need all the characters that are not these 5 characters. And then it would return them. So you get everything that's not part of those 5 characters. You can finish out the rest of the password. Cool. So that's what it would do. This one, what it basically does, hey, you have this thing stored in memory. How do I access that? You can't access that? Well, how would I normally get access to it? Well, normally you need verification. Well, what information would I need verification for? Well, you need verification for this information. Oh, I fucking totally worked around you.
For anyone not following, this is like a password generator.
This was an exploit that was just based in your microprocessor that was never processed into your operating system. So now, new microprocessors, it won't even be until 2020 that these actually come out where there's processing chips that it actually stops this natively, but your operating system actually has a patch that will lower your CPU usage to where it blocks in itself this process.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of things went from saying, hey, we run at 4.1 gigahertz, now we only run at 3.6 because we have to use a shitload of this processor to constantly block you trying to fetch this information. Yeah, I mean, it goes...
I remember that was the Intel based.
Oh, Intel and AMD.
Really?
Yeah, it was both of them. It was much more prominent in Intel, and it goes back a lot further in Intel.
So it was architecture based.
Yes.
Okay.
It's foundational based.
Wow.
So, but a lot of things that were older aren't supported, so they just completely dropped them off. In fact, there are certain versions of Windows 7 and certain Intel and AMD chips that were still supposed to be supported until 2020 that they decided, hey, there's way too many of these in the field, no more support. And that happened in October? Maybe September.
Yeah.
Maybe like September. So, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy the things that we see for this.
Yeah. Being responsible. I'm trying not to drink another one. Otherwise, I'll regret it in the morning when I'm trying to wake up and go to work.
Will you?
Yeah, because I used all my sick time this past Friday.
I feel like
I can't take a sick day tomorrow.
I feel like if I eat dinner, I'll be good.
Well,
we're at 2 hours and 6 minutes.
I know we needed to. Welcome back, guys.
Back.
Welcome back, guys.
Jason's back. Cheers. And
yeah, I know.
I know it's you this time, not me.
I know.
We love you all. Thanks for chiming in. Dave stuck with us a while. Paige is here, I think. Yeah.
So Paige is my graphic designer. She is finally almost done with the shit for our site.
Fuck yeah!
I hope she's fucking with my Shriz logo. And you said something about the Paramount earlier. January 5th, Paramount. Should be a pretty wide variety of show.
That'll be fucking
I'll be up there.
I should be back.
So
cool. That's Saturday, right?
I should have about 6 songs to
Friday.
do. And there should be an acoustic set, I think. A rock set, maybe BLM, and cover band or something.
Your site, as far as the shit that I'm doing with it, if it's something that interests you at all, is almost done. Somewhere, I have completely lost our site.
Brews Bros?
Brews Bros BS has disappeared entirely. I don't know what's happened with it.
Thank you, Paige.
But I will have to find it. Yours, I like yours.
Yeah.
I like what I've done with yours. So the last piece that I need to it is just a big picture, because the About Me page, which is about you, is one large picture with text overlay in the top corner. So just any picture that you have that is a high resolution "This is me" page would be great, so that I can finish that out. And then other than that, I mean, it looks good. I will tie in your links to your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, blah blah blah, and it's part of your banner, and it will be on those pages. I think it looks good.
Sweet. Then I just gotta figure out how to fucking migrate it over to a server,
right? Depending, if you own your own DNS, like if you have your own registrar and you are registered somewhere, then all I need to do is point your A record and your www record at whatever you are hosting it at, or wherever you're hosting it, so we can do that. But if you don't have that, I assume you own your domain name, and then we can just host it with a place like Enom or Registrar or even GoDaddy, and then fucking post it to something like DigitalOcean. But
we'll have to figure it out.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We love you.
Woo! Facebook land.
Let's do this. And peace out.
Cheers.